it's Nicole for Lawnfawn, and today I've got a Happy Harvest scalloped box card pop-up to share with you. The pop-up card dies are fantastic for creating a dimensional style card that's interactive. And with fall coming right around the corner, I thought it would be fun to share an idea of how to create this fall scene with the pop-up card box. Now I've stamped a bunch of different elements here on some Nina Smooth White cardstock, and I'm going to show you how I stamped the solid images. The corn stalks are stamped with a combination of either butter or sunflower lawnfawn inks. And then the solid leaves are from the Jump for Joy stamp set. And I'm going to stamp the outlines for these using a black ink, and then fill that in with the solid leaf images using either the sunflower, carrot, or lobster inks. All of the colors that would be great for some fall leaves. So instead of coloring these in with Copic markers, I'm filling the solid images in with ink instead. And that kind of cuts down a little bit on the coloring time, plus it's so super easy to do. So that is how I created all of the leaves for my card here. I did create multiples of these because I thought the more I had, the better I could fill in all of the little areas on the scalloped box card pop-up. I will also take some greetings while I have my cardstock out here and stamp the So Thankful from the Jump for Joy stamp set using carrot ink. I'm using the MISTI, so anything that needs to be stamped twice, which a lot of the solid images I like to stamp twice for really good coverage. And then I'm going to take a smaller phrase from the Jump for Joy stamp set and stamp that right underneath with the walnut ink. So the greeting will read, "So thankful that we're friends." And this is going to be the sentiment that is on kind of quote unquote the inside of the card. For this card, anything that's going to be on the outside I will show at the end because it pops up so that what is kind of on the outside isn't going to be as visible once you pop up the card and display it if you're the recipient. Now taking one of these stitched rectangles from the scalloped box card pop-up, I'm going to die cut the greeting into the shape of a rectangle. This fits on that front flap of the scalloped box card pop-up. And I'm going to die cut all of the different elements, whether they're from Happy Harvest or Jump for Joy. I love mixing and matching all of the lawnfawn elements to create a truly customized style card. Now on my work surface, you might notice I already have the scalloped box card pop-up panels die cut from some of the Perfectly Plaid fall pattern paper. This is last year's release pattern paper. This is a great brown plaid, plus all of these little inserts, and I have a picket fence trimmed or die cut from smooth white cardstock. This is from the picket fence die and will be on one of the layers. I like to assemble my box flat, so I have adhered my two panels together, but only on one tab. And I want to leave that back panel that's going to be on the back. I don't want to fold it on the score line, so while all the rest of the panels you can see are flopping around a little bit, that's because I went ahead and folded those, but the one that will be the back of the card I want to leave without folding it because it'll hold its shape so much better. Now an easy way to add the inserts, and you can add as many of these as you want to for as many layers as you want to add to your scalloped box card pop-up. I'm going to add 4. And I'm only adhering one side, and I'm going to show you why. I've showed this before in videos, and I think maybe it's been kind of fast, so I'm hoping today it's going to show it a little bit better. Just adding some nice strong adhesive to one of the tabs and then laying them flat against the one side. These go on, actually are adhered to these two short sides of the card. And this is by far the easiest way. I think it's so much easier to attach these before you assemble the box. So once these are all completely adhered, I'm going to line them up. I'm just double checking to make sure how this is going to work. And that is looking good. I'm going to flip them this way, put adhesive on each of these little tabs, and you're going to see them kind of all come to life. Want to make sure they're all really straight. Fold that other side down, the other short side, and look at that. There they are, perfectly adhered to that scalloped card pop-up. Now I can go ahead and attach that last side. And now it's time to add the different elements to the inside of the box. I think this is a project that, for me, always looked super intimidating, and this die collection has made this a very realistic project. Having the dies right there and not having to try to figure out the scale and trimming them down myself has made this so easy. I did go ahead and attach my little greeting there to that front panel. I am going to trim down my picket fence to fit one of the layers. I like to think of the scalloped box card pop-up as different layers that I would create on a flat, traditional style A2 card. So my corn or field would be in the back. The little fence with the scarecrow would be next. Then I'll have some sort of grass and sunflowers, and finally the wagon with the pumpkins. Those are the 4 layers here. So that picket fence I will go ahead and attach to the 3rd tab. And then on the back tab, I am going to attach all of my corn stalks. And I have these in 2 different color combinations, butter and sunflower yellow. Gives some nice variation, and I'm going to adhere some of them taller than others, some of them a little bit shorter, just depending on where I place the adhesive within the tab. And originally I had 6 corn stalks. What I ended up doing was going back and adding a few additional ones back behind. I really wanted it to look full. You don't see it a whole lot, but it adds to the overall feel and look of the card and really fills in that back layer perfectly. These are all attached with some Zotz Bling glue dots, so there's kind of what it looked like. And of course, like I said, I did fill it in with a few additional ones as I got to building the rest of the scene. A couple of the leaves I'm going to attach to that front panel with the greeting. And then I'm going to color in the rest of my images so that I can really build all of the different layers. It'll be easier once I have everything laying out. I can go right to attaching everything and really building the scene. This little piece here was die cut from sunflower cardstock using a simple Grassy Hillsides die, and I die cut it from yellow to go more with the fall theme. Again, not a lot of this is seen, but it's going to give me a great place to tuck in my little sunflowers. I'm going to start with the Scarecrow's overalls in some nice denim blues. Blend these colors out beautifully. All the colors of Copic markers I'm using are shown across the bottom of the screen. be 91, 95, and 99 for the overalls. For the face, E00, 11, and 13, with R20 for the cheeks. And from here, I'm going to skip around a little. I really originally planned on coloring the whole scarecrow, but I couldn't figure out what color I wanted to do his shirt. Oh, I guess the little stake he's attached to is E55 and E57. And then I'm going to skip around just because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to color his hat and shirt. And a lot of times those things will come to me as I work on the rest of the card. So I'm trying to figure out my color combinations for my pumpkins. I want a couple of different color combinations. This color combination is YR15 and YR27. And it's going to be the darker color combination of the two I'm using. You could do all kinds of different things. I think some white pumpkins would be fun. Some with a green tint to them. Lots and lots of fun things. I kind of stuck to a more traditional palette, I guess. E55 and E57 for the stems. Blend that out a little more. Add some nice shadowing. And then go ahead and color another couple pumpkins with this same color combination before I move on to the lighter or brighter color combination for the other two pumpkins. And I think it ends up being maybe 3. I do stamp 2 more of the individual pumpkins, that large and small individual pumpkin, to put on one of the sides of the scalloped card box pop-up. This color combination is Y13, YR02, and YR04. That yellow gives a nice little highlight area. Blend all of my colors. Brighten up that pumpkin a little bit. And it's just enough different that it adds some interest to the design. And then I'll move back to the YR15 and YR27 for the final pumpkin. For my crows, I'm using W4 and W7 with W10 for the beaks to make them really dark. And to make them even, the beaks stand out even more, I'm going to use glossy accents over warm gray tin. Originally I did orange and I just didn't think that worked for the crows. So I went ahead and used warm gray tin over that. And the glossy accents is going to make their beaks really stand out. Now, I did stamp another one of the crows that's kind of got his wings tucked in and is looking straight in, like straight on. And then I stamped the one that's flying from the Happy Harvest stamp set, and that's going to be on the right tab of the box card to fill in that area. A little Y21 for the straw with E55 coming out of the hands and off the head and out of the leg openings of the scarecrow. E55 and 57 for the inside of the sunflowers, with E79 for the little highlight areas or the little seeds there. And again, the centers of the sunflowers will be finished with glossy accents to really make them stand out. The petals are Y21 and YR24. And I did the large and the small sunflower here, but I ended up adding one additional small sunflower, so there's 3 on that second layer of the card. A little red wagon is R24, R46, and R39 with some warm grays, the same warm grays I used for the crows, for parts of the wheels and for the handle. It's a little bit bigger area, so the 3 colors really help with shading. That R39 gives it some nice depth and dimension. Go ahead and do the handle with those warm grays. Pretty much all I have left now is that additional sunflower, which will be colored just like the big one, and then the hat and the shirt for the scarecrow. And I really wanted to do something a little bit different than the colors I'd already used. For the hat, I'm going to do the red stripe to kind of pull in the red from the wagon and then make the hat kind of a khaki color with E55 and E57. And then do some blue-green colors for his shirt, which are some nice kind of bright aqua blue. His overalls are more of a denim blue color combination, and I want his shirt to be kind of nice and bright. So that's going to be in BG 02, 05, and 07. I'm trying to figure out my color combination here, and I like that. I think it's a nice bright blue and adds a nice little pop of color. Now, once all of my images are colored, I'm going to take the coordinating Happy Harvest and Jump for Joy dies and die cut all of the different elements. Then I can start attaching them to the different layers. And the scarecrow is one of the biggest ones, and so I'm going to tuck him in front of the fence on the fence layer. And then the wagon is also big, so I want to attach that on the front layer and tuck the pumpkins and leaves around it. Something to note, you want to keep your elements within the confines of the box when it's folded flat, because it's going to fit an A2 sized card that way. For my card, I did not realize it until I had it laid flat, that my scarecrow sticks up a little high. And I did think about trying to move him down and fix that a little bit, but I thought I would lose some of the dimension. So this card is going to have to probably go in a bigger envelope than a standard A2 sized. Maybe even a padded envelope so nothing gets damaged, because it does have lots of layers. But I just wanted to note that if you want it to go in a standard A2 sized envelope, to make sure you keep all of your elements no higher than the top of the card when it's folded flat. For the 2 sides, I've die cut additional little rectangles and squares, and I'm stamping or adhering some of the elements to those and adhering those to the sides. For the front panel, I did use the Push Here stamp set for the look inside. This is what it looks like when you get it when it's laying flat, plus some corn stalks and a crow and a greeting. And then this is what it looks like when you pop it out and open. So it comes to you flat like this. You can see the scarecrow sticking up like I was talking about, but this is what it looks like when it's nice and flat and you open it up out of the envelope. And then it simply pops up and you can lay those flaps down and you have a cute little card that is super easy to display and is a fun fall decoration. Thanks for joining me today for this Happy Harvest scalloped box card pop-up. For more information, please be sure to check out the lawnfawn blog. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.